Are presidents of countries or heads of states of countries supposed to be super or filthy rich because they are presidents of their respective countries? About 3 African countries like Ghana, Burkina Faso, and Senegal, their presidents has openly declared their assets. They are audited to know or to bring to table what they came into office with. At least it's better than nothing, because most countries' presidents in Africa, they don't openly declare their assets. So these presidents are presidents, and that automatically leaves them the head or the control of the affairs of their economies. Let's look at 5 African most richest presidents and also look at how politics, business, and power blends into fortunes. Now, let's begin with King Mohammed VI of Morocco. It's a net worth of around $5.7 billion. King Mohammed inherited royal empires, banks, mines, real estates, and even telecoms. So to many in Morocco, King Mohammed VI is a modernizer who invests in infrastructures and supports women's rights. To many in Morocco, it is also believed that King Mohammed VI has invested greatly in green energy. The critics believe that the royal palace holds bulk of resources and keys of Moroccan's wealth, making most of the population trapped in economic tie-down. To some Moroccans, they believe that privilege work hand in hand with progress. That is to say, the more closer you are to the Moroccan palace, the more wealthy you are. So the next is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of Nigeria. According to statistics, he's the second most richest African president, aka Power King. So President Bola Ahmed Tinubu rose to prominence from once a 2-term governor of the most popular and richest state in Nigeria, the Lagos state. President Tinubu of Nigeria is believed to be Africa's most controversial wealthy man or wealthy president. In 2023, he rose to presidency, promising Nigerians renewed hope. An estimated wealth around $4.5 billion US, built through real estates, political patronage, decades of deals. So President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's influence and loyalty networks makes him the African continent's most controversial yet influential president. Which African president do you think is most controversial? His government is corrupt. Apart from the ones I've mentioned here, I'm about to mention, drop your thoughts in the comment section. Who do you think is rich, wasteful, or corrupt African leader? Let's know. So the number 3 Africa's richest president on my list is Cyril Ramaphosa, the president of South Africa. He built his fortune through the Shanduka Group investment before joining politics. South Africa, which Cyril Ramaphosa leads as the president, is Africa's most industrialized economy or country. But South Africa sees Cyril Ramaphosa as a symbol of success, considering he was already a billionaire. He was already made before joining politics in 2018. Though some South Africans still believe that their president Cyril Ramaphosa does not fully understand or comprehend what an ordinary South Africans, poor South Africans are going through because he's so wealthy. The next on my list is Theodora Obiang Nguema, the president of Equatorial Guinea. He ruled since 1979. Power is sweet, right? He overthrew his uncle in a bloody coup. And in the 1990s, when oil was discovered in Equatorial Guinea, President Obiang and his family members became filthy rich billionaires overnight. And his net worth as of today is around $2 billion US. And so source of his wealth, well, no doubt, oil and gas, real estates. President Obiang and his family members own very luxurious properties in France, like places in Paris and Malabo. There's been a lot of allegations against him, for mismanaging the state's oil wealth, by him and his son, who flaunts or lavish money on expensive cars, expensive private jets. The United States and French courts have seized most of the properties, expensive, luxurious properties worth millions of dollars linked to these families in corruption cases. And guess who is suffering it? The Equatorians, because it's the commonwealth of the Equatorian people. 70% of Equatorial Guineans are living in abject poverty. And the next is President Paul Biya of Cameroon, a 92-year-old who has been in power since 1982, over 42 years now. Surely he has amassed so much wealth that his government can afford to pay for his luxurious suits, in Switzerland, where he rules Cameroon from. And his net worth is estimated to be around 1 billion US dollars. His family is said to own many luxurious homes in France. Paul Biya just won another elections for the 8th term, since 1982. To many Cameroonians, he's not just a ghost president or a ghost monarch. To them, it's just another 8th term, he will just be there. To sum it all, these presidents are not just filthy rich. They became power itself, considering or looking through the lens of, the control and the subjection of their countrymen and women. Some of them came from a place of legacy, some from business, while others from a place of war. But one thing is common amongst most presidents in Africa. They see power and wealth as the same currency. So imagine this, most African leaders, majority of African leaders take monies meant for the common use of their countrymen and women, common wealth, and buy properties abroad in US, in France, in Europe, where they pay heavy property tax. Why not invest such monies back home in Africa, where it will benefit African continent and better the lives of your people? Well, let me know what your thoughts are on this. Drop your thoughts in the comment section as an African or a lover of African people, or anyone who finds African narratives interesting. Please do not forget to subscribe, because on this channel I talk about things I find interesting about Africa. See you on the next one. Thank you.